Okay, now that we've created a main and created a test for a C-factor test, we need to create a work order. So I go to work order, click on work order, select C-factor work order, and I'm going to add a new one. And we'll call this IMS C-factor work order. For demo. This won't be a reoccurring work order, so I'm going to select no. Had it been a reoccurring work order, I would have selected the reoccurring period of time, and I would have put in an ending date if there was one, or selected no, yes or no. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we're going to go down and find our C-factor test that we created. We're going to add that test. Are we sure? Yes. Once we've created the test, we can go up, save it, and then we're going to print. And this will give us a form that we can fill out in the field as we collect our data. This would be if you're using manual pitot tubes and gauges. If you're using IMS system, you would just sync this data and it would all come in automatically. So we've been out, we've done the test results, we've come back in, and now we need to enter those test results into the work order. So we find the work order, which was number 57, and we're going to go in and edit the results. Again, if you've been using Hurco's FireFlow Pro, this would already be filled in for you. We're going to go in and enter this information manually. Field notes. C-factor, we ran the test for 8 minutes, 12 seconds, and we had pitot pressure of 14. Our static pressure on our first hydrant was 77. This would be the hydrant furthest from the flow hydrant. We had residual pressure of 55 on our second hydrant, which would be the closest residual hydrant to the flow hydrant. We had 78, and we had 56 residual. And we want to calculate our gallons used, so we'll go in and put in pitot pressure, 14, and we flowed for 8 minutes and 12 seconds. We'll calculate. So now we have our gallons used, 10,157 gallons based on 1,238 gallons per minute. We'll go up and save this. So we've just finished entering in all the results. Now the next thing we need to do is to submit those results. To submit, click on Submit Results, and you'll get a warning that says that this work order will be unavailable to edit. Are you sure you want to submit the work order? If you're comfortable that all the results are entered correctly, you would click on Yes. The test results are being submitted, the calculations are being done, and we have created a C-factor test that will contain some important information. Again, aside of your normal address information and such, we'll have specifics on the test. In this case, we had main identification, the length of the main, date of the installation, the type of pipe, our minimum size and our maximum size. On hydrant, first residual hydrant, we had 77 static, residual 55. We had a 28.57% drop, which is 22 psi differential. On the second hydrant, we had 78 static, 56 residual, 28.21% drop, 22 psi differential. We flowed water for 8 minutes and 12 seconds. Our fitting adjustment length was 33. We only had one fitting in here, but if there had been several fittings, this would have been a total of all of those, which gives us an equivalent head loss of 5.00. Our target C factor was 130. Our actual C factor was 198. Our estimated pipe diameter was 8.52. This value here is just to kind of give you a visual indicator of the pipe size. We had a minimum and a maximum. We're actually calculating off our max, so we had a pipe diameter of 8.52 instead of a pipe diameter of 10.00. Down here we see the flow hydrant, the flow device we used. We used a 4.5-inch hose monster. Our flow PSI was 14, or pitot pressure. Gallons per minute, 1,238. Gallons used, 10,157. And then we have our gallons used, total gallons used down here. If we had flowed more than one hydrant, it would have showed the gallons used for each hydrant in the total down here. So let's go ahead and get out of here. We'll go back to the reports menu. We'll go down to C factor order, work order results. And if this is where we would see a summary of all the tests we did. We only did one test today, which was this number 57. If I double click on it, I'll get my master report back. If I select a summary of the selections, I get a different looking report that actually puts all of the C factors into more of a summary format. We'll go ahead and click out of there. And then finally, water usage report. We're going to go down to C factor, and I'm just going to go view report. We'll leave the two tests that are in there done. View report. And what we're seeing here are the two mains that we tested and the total gallons used on both mains.